Do you know why we called you here?
I don't know. It's like I had to reach out to somebody. I'm just like having this pent-up rage, and I just need to let it out. That sort of thing.
Video games have been a creative medium for the past few decades. And typically, something like that takes a lot of time and care. And sometimes it just has to be rushed out to reach the store shelves. What I want to talk about today is a game called Country Justice by Three Romans. It was created in 2005. You may not have recognized Three Romans, but they've made such great classics as Ultimate Demolition Derby, Muscle Car 2, American Spirit, Muscle Car 3, Illegal Street. Personally, I have not played those three games. I couldn't find a copy of it, but when I get the chance, I'll get back to that. Right now, I want to talk about Country Justice, but before I do, actually, let's go to the reviews, because that is the fun part of overviewing a game. So let's take a trip to the reviews. Pure classic, instant goatee. This is my favorite Duck Dynasty video game. It captures the culture and life of trailer park trash and rednecks all rolled up in one. Mud, trucks, shotguns, dogs, hunting, beer, you name it. This next gen of rehashes and remakes should include this. I highly recommend for young kids around ages 4 to 8 years old. Alright. Where do I start? This game is just amazing on so many... Okay, you know what? Let's not do that, because this is just like a Bible scripture. Like, it's just too long for me.
Fucking normal things! Get those
So we're off to play the game. Let's get it.
What were your initial thoughts when starting Country Justice?
This game was gonna be awful. I mean, I didn't think I'd spend like up to $6 on that. I never thought that I would actually just sit down and actually take some time with it.
I do want to let you in on something interesting. Now, the desk icon is not representative of what it's supposed to be. You see that there's just a red X. And quite frankly, I am like really regretting it right now. But so we're at the point of no return. Let's go ahead and click the game icon. I also forgot to mention that this game does not support widescreen, formatting. It will go to its native screen, which is my secondary monitor that is 4:3. And, quite frankly, playing on a second screen doesn't feel right. Now, as you see, there's the menu screen as soon as we boot up the game. Now, the environment is not what you see in the game, but we'll get into that later. Now, here we are. Kill Me is my profile name. Let's get this through the load time and just pray that everything will be fine.
Dixie's gone. Somebody kidnapped our goat. I bet it was those dang Hatfields. I called Sheriff Cletus, but he ain't gonna do nothing. So you gotta go take care of him once and for all. And don't even try and come back without Dixie. You better not stop at the still. This here ain't no time for drinking.
Well then, let's go ahead and state the first problem here. Now you guys remember Postal, the bitchy wife? I don't know some of the themes in just with shooter games and bitchy wives, but seriously, not all wives are that. Hashtag not all wives. Fuck.
On the hood of Cletus's Jeep? Boy, you were wasted. I even had to drive you home. Woo!
Well, let me tell you this. Normally, when you meet a new character, the character, you know how they zoom in, just get a better look of the character. But this one is out of control, especially when, like, fucking Steve Earle constantly moves. Like, this is some fucked up bullshit. I'm over it now. Since it's over, let's just go grab the truck keys from the house that has a grass sound on the floor, but it's whatever. Now, the environment has a lot of mutated, like, NPCs, mainly the citizens and the animals. Like, how can I explain this? It's weird. I don't know. But, let's go ahead and grab the trap keys. And our frame rate, dips faster than chicken nuggets, but hey, it's whatever. Let's go ahead and go to the next objective, which is to, I guess, pick up moonshine from an unspecified location. But fortunately enough, we have a compass on the top of our fucking heads-up display. Now, I also like to explain the other things on the heads-up display. Now, the jug on the bottom right-hand corner is your moonshine, which is pretty much like it enhances your character. He moves a lot faster, jumps a lot higher, that sort of thing. He's also a lot stronger. Now, you see, of course, the silhouette of a person is your health bar. And the number next to it is the number of lives. Okay. We have a bigger cow than the rest.
This is crazy.
That took a while, but hey, that's fine. Okay, well,
This is crazy.
we're here at the moonshine. We had to take care of these dead rednecks, but fortunately enough, we had to go through a big obstacle. So after the sheriff, Cletus... Alright. Let me just discuss the name here for a second, alright? The names are beyond unoriginal. Come on, Sheriff Cletus, Steve Earle, Skeeter, come on. Someone's been watching the stereotypical fucking movies, but okay, whatever. But we're here at this gate, and there's this guy shooting at us. What fucking ass? You can't be serious. You can't be serious. After just with minimal effort, I go right through the door. Minimal effort, I go right through the door. Let's just proceed. Or are we gonna proceed? We just stopped for no reason. Oh, okay. I died. Okay, well. Someone's constantly shooting, but... Okay, so we see these group of zombies. Lesson learned, guys. Don't fucking just, like, drive through a gang of zombies because you will lag and will break the game. I was coming close to that. Alright, so we found this guy with a mullet, who I assume is the owner of this swamp boat, but we are here.
This rocks.
Now our next objective is to go to the facility where the scientist is. Now, for some odd reason, we have not done any other objectives like story-wise. We haven't gotten any more exposition, which is a bit odd, but, if we can just go to the scientist that easily, then I don't understand why I'm even playing this. So, okay. Well, I died. Fucking shit. Well, of course, our natural thing is to restart the game. So let's go ahead and restart the game. What? I'm sorry, what? Let me just go ahead and try to figure this out, right? Mainly because this isn't supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to see the skybox. I'm not even supposed to fall through the fucking floor. What kind of bullshit is that, dude? Oh my god. Let's restart, and we have ran into a game-breaking bug here, folks. I would have to restart from the beginning if I were to, like, actually continue playing. Fortunately enough, though, I took a break from this game. So, let's go ahead and just... Let me give you some fun facts, right? I purchased this game June 17th, 2016. This footage took place June 23rd, 6 days into playing this game. So, imagine 6 days later having to reach this point of the game and this happens to you. You can't ever go back to it. That's how I felt. I took a 10-month gap playing this game. But you know what's funny? It turns out we went out the wrong way anyways. We finally figured out where to go. So, we take the swamp boat. We gotta turn it around, but let me talk to you about the controls for this game. Right. The controls for driving is a fucking nightmare. Okay. Normally you can't hit the left mouse button for accelerating the car. Instead, I think left mouse button will work in your favor for accelerating, then right mouse button for like reversing or braking. That makes a whole lot of sense. While you get to like rotate the camera with your mouse, but instead we use the WSAD key for driving a car or any other vehicle in this game. Now, of course, when you drive, it will feel stiff because we are in just nothing but 4 directions. Whereas with a mouse, we can just go all 8 directions to look wherever we want to look, which is beyond bullshit. But hey, running into those kind of constraints really, really bothers me, right? Because you see how poorly I'm doing with driving a swamp boat. It's because it's the controls. Like, if you were to give this game a try, and if you're trying to steer a vehicle, you use nothing but the A and D keys for that. Hell, I don't even know if there's even a way to brake, right? I would have to just like go full force without even trying to just brake. So I would also have to slow down in order to make my mark. And let me talk to another thing about the swamp boat controls, which is the docking. It's a pain in the ass because all you have to do is be far away instead of just being at the actual dock to press the action key to get off. And what the fuck is that? That does not sound like wood. That's supposed to sound like metal. I've never heard of a wooden surface sounding like fucking metal. And now it sounds like grass apparently. Just take a listen. Oh, what's that? I finally hear some normal sounds going on, right? But we found our crossbow, which is the final weapon in the game to beat the scientist. But I do want you to listen to the sound and its appropriate surface, rather than that whole dock.
It's taking care of business.
So we're now inside the facility, shooting the guards that are apparently zombies. I'm surprised they have not eaten the fucking scientist yet. But hey, I guess that's not my problem. We'll have normal security guards, I presume, like once we get further. And I'm pretty sure they will be a lot stronger than normal. Oh, well, they are normal. Look at that. Well, it was a bit easy, but we are inside of the elevator now. And let's go ahead and go up. I'm floating? Why am I levitating over the ground? Oh, please do not tell me that I glitched towards the end of the game. Okay, well. Alright, well, the best thing to do is to restart. Fuck it.
I see you have made it, Redneck.
Now, I'm sure most of you have known this part of the game. It's pretty infamous for it crashing around this point of the game, where you're near the end and you successfully beat this guy. Now, this guy is not even too difficult to beat. That's the final boss. This also not to forget to mention that. That's the final boss. Okay? I'm not sure how long the development cycle took for this, but I'm pretty sure it's rushed just to get to this point of the game. And this is how you meet the end goal, right here. Doesn't even take long to get to the end goal. So now he's going up. Okay.
Only one way to deliver this.
What would that be? Well, just having weird fluids. Oh. That sound really, he sounds a bit constipated. But hey, we're gonna be just freeing Dixie, Zat, Kind of missed a couple of shots here to beat the scientist, but little did I know that I just explode the fucking chamber itself. So it's whatever. I ruined everything? Well, I mean, if you didn't have such an easy battle, which is, I know it's completely not over your control. Now, at this point, this is where the game would crash, but fortunately I did not run into that problem. But we got Dixie, finally. We found a pistol, for some reason. Okay. So the next objective is to pretty much go home.
Man.
And running into a bit of a bug here, which hits are definitely a lot more delayed, and the enemy had a better advantage of shooting, mainly because I was lagging like a motherfucker. But we're gonna move on. Let's go ahead and get inside the car. Now it says, of course, Dixie has been rescued. I'm actually gonna do this. Okay, so we're finally reaching this point of the game where we beat it. This is where I find deeper appreciation for how short this game is. I've never beaten an indie game that was considerably, notorious for being bad. I've never beaten that sort of game before. Now, of course, I'm at the end goal. I'm doing just fine in this. Throughout the past few games that I've played that are like fucking awful, I'm shocked that I was actually able to get through this. But yeah. It's just I never really thought that we could just like actually beat this. I'm still shocked from this, right? Being the fact that dude, no matter how buggy it could be, no matter how bad the story is, you will find greater appreciation after like just completing it. It feels like a doctor's appointment that you don't even want to go to. You get that shot, you're glad it's over with. Fortunately, this was well, it wasn't even fortunate in my case, but this is a 6-month doctor shot that I had to endure. But, it's fine. Let's just go ahead and... Oh, fuck off. Fucking... I spun out of control, which is, like I said, driving is a bit awkward in this game, mainly because I have to use the WASD keys, and I'm stuttering. What the fuck? Alright. All I have to do is just make a couple of turns. I'm pretty sure I'm not too far. Which I hope to... Oh shit. Please, no, don't fucking tell me that I fucking crashed. Oh shit. So I gotta well, I pretty much would rather show you. It'd be best after all. So right when I was about to get to the end of this game, Country Justice has stopped working. Gee, I wonder why. This makes me wonder why this great game would stop working on me. Fucking Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright then, mate. That's about enough out of this fucking game. Listen, right. I don't know how to really feel about this, right? The game crashed. Let me just find out who made this game.
Why do you find entertainment in playing bad games?
I have no idea. Maybe it's the sense that I just need to maybe talk a lot of shit about bad games. Games like Jump X Jump, Soda Drinker Pro, all these sort of just these cannot be accepted at all.
Do you think somewhere inside you, maybe deeper down, it's because you might hate yourself?
Maybe I do hate myself in a sense, I'm just sadistic in that way.
Carlo Romano. Now that name stands out because he's the founder of the company 3 Romans. He did a lot of major roles when making this game. So I've reached out to Carlo through LinkedIn, and this is his retrospective on the final result of Country Justice?
It was so much fun to design it and have these luxury ideas, but the truth of it is our budget and the development scenario, and to get the whole game done. Really, to be honest with you, it was disappointing to me because I believe there were so many bugs and so many issues that we didn't work out that I think users, became victim of during play. And, I have to say probably 40% of our games shipped early because of the publishers need to put something on a Walmart shelf. And that made up. When I look back, those are beautiful ideas, great games. Turned out to be just a fun game that could have been a lot better had it not had some of the bugs and the issues.
And despite, the time crunching, you have to handle it with time and care, and it kind of just, the execution kind of just comes out in the wrong way. So we all have had that feeling before, You're not alone.
And I'll tell you this, the one thing the lesson I learned from it that I use now with software was half of the levels, activities in Country Justice didn't need to be there. I didn't really need a swamp boat. By doing a swamp boat, it siphoned time away from some of the basics that I thought I could have probably made better had I not tried to do an antebellum home that nobody would ever see. And a swamp boat, probably, it didn't matter if you used the swamp boat or not in the game.
Now, Three Romans closed in 2010. It folded, and for these reasons explained by Carlo.
So we started out as Silverfish Studios and 3 partners. We started just pumping out video games. I mean, just left and right. After 2003, I had a daughter. And obviously, I wasn't making all the trips that I used to make. I was the person who was supposed to bring contracts in.
Mm-hmm.
2005, I started fooling around with things with Homeland Security and personal financial literacy. Everybody wanted everything gamified. This money in the gamification over software, to be honest with you, it was good money in it. But then I started teaching classes and stuff and thinking about my daughter growing up. 2010, she was 6, 7 years old. And I started thinking about, the fact that I grew up, of course, I have multiple degrees now, but when I grew up, my mom and dad only had a 9th grade education. I was the first person to ever go to college. Families. And I really wanted my daughter to have that culture of her being a dean and all that stuff. So the romance of education may have swayed my decision making. And I started doing more personal things, but I also have to attribute some of it to the industry. There was listen, man, we're talking about a huge depression of funding between 2000 and 2010, to the point to where around 2008, you couldn't get the fund. A lot of the people that were at the lower level publishers that were easier to get to, they were being gobbled up by the big companies. Were hiring, they were actually buying the developers and sticking them under that umbrella. So now the competitive nature of getting deals, it was virtually impossible. When I first walked into a publisher's office your day, and they'd be like, "What do you mean? You've been looking for a developer who will do what he said he's going to do? Here's some ideas. Any of those spark an interest?" And every time I went to E3, every time I went to GDC, I came back with a contract. It got to the point to where we were going out there and they really just weren't. Companies like the company that put out Far Cry, companies from Eastern Europe. But all of a sudden, we all started getting older. We all started having kids. And then these people in the Eastern blocks would come in and they would just tear us up on the bidding wars. And it really became so hard to get the publishing deal. to be honest with you, I just stopped out there and then, got romanced by education. And once you end your company and you get out of it for a few years, it's tough. You've made a decision that's going to, stick with you.
Absolutely.
And so unfortunately, it wasn't like it went out with the bang of bankruptcy or problems or people hating each other or fist fight in the parking lot, and kind of just faded away.
Now, fortunately, Three Romans ended on a good note. Everyone is chasing their dreams and all. Carlo is doing great things right now. Admittedly, after talking to Carlo, I've gained a new respect for the guy. And I've gained a new respect to the process of making this game right here. This is why it kind of stood out to me. As buggy as it could be, everyone who was involved in this project envisioned it better than how it is. This has got to be the one of the most interesting backstories to a game I've ever came across. Especially since I talked to the creator of the game itself. This has been a whole new experience for me. It really has been. 10-month journey. Here I am up to this point.
Did speaking with Carlo give you a new perspective by any chance?
Well, after interviewing him, he told me how his company ended. And that's kind of led to the point where it reminds me of myself since I've got a new venture and all, just going to school and being too busy, like doing this whole, reviewing bad games as a hobby sort of thing. So I definitely feel for Carlo and how his company ended.
And what are you going to do now?
Hang up the beanie, put everything away, just continue on with my life. Stop worrying about bad games, stressing myself out.
Very good. That's all we have for you.
Thank you.